Hey, what's up everyone? Today I want to share with you the story of my first flip. My first flip was a nightmare. For a while, I didn't want to think about it and I didn't want to talk about it. But now 4 years later, I want to revisit this story because there are many good lessons that could benefit beginners. I was really stressed out during my first flip and it involved blood, sweat, and tears. But looking back, I'm thankful that my first deal was not a slam dunk because I learned so many good lessons from that deal, and to a degree, I owe my successful career later on to that one deal. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Elisa and I'm a house flipper in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been flipping houses for 4 years now and I've done over 30 house flips. On this channel, I share tips and tricks to help people get started in real estate investing and house flipping. So smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to share with you the entire flip with all the numbers, my scope of work, before and after photos, and my nightmare of dealing with contractors. And make sure you watch until the very end where I share important takeaways. So now, without further ado, I'm going to share the story on my first flip from start to finish. Let's start from how I got this deal. At that time, I was still working a full-time job, and I decided to start building my network of agents and also start looking for deals. So I set aside a couple hours a day, and I started cold calling real estate agents and asked them for deals. I talked to a lot of agents by cold calling and I got many leads, but until this deal, nothing actually worked out. This is a Victorian style home that's over 100 years old. There are 3 generations living in the house and the owner and the seller is the grandma. She's in her 60s and she decided that she wanted to sell the house, quit her job, and move to Mexico to enjoy retirement. The home is pretty big per Bay Area standard. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, over 2,600 square feet. The average home size in the Bay Area is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, between 1,200 to 1,500 square feet. The home is in downtown San Jose, a small pocket neighborhood called Nagley Park, where there are a lot of older homes. So how I decided to move forward with this deal was through my initial analysis. The seller had a number in mind, which is $1 million, so that's my purchase price. The estimated rehab cost is $100,000. It sounds pretty low considering the size of the home, but this home actually can be divided into 2 sections. The first section is the original house, which is Victorian style, and we just needed to preserve the style, and it didn't need a lot of work. At the back of the house, there's an addition, and also upstairs, there's a bathroom where it needed a lot of work. The estimated after repair value is $1.35 million, and the whole time from the close of purchase to the close of sale is about 4 months. So the estimated profit would be $130,000. Based on these numbers, this is a pretty solid deal, so I decided to fight my fear and jump into my first flip. It was very difficult for me to put together the scope of work because I had very limited experience with home remodeling. I've only done condo renovations before, but this home was also very old. It was over 100 years old and many infrastructure needed updating. I knew I wouldn't be able to pull this off all by myself, so I decided to bring my mentor in as a partner so he could offer me some guidance. So I did my research by looking at comps that share the same style and also browsing online to learn about Victorian style. I learned that Victorian style home is very unique and there are actually a lot of buyers who love older homes and they would be willing to pay a premium to buy a home that's preserved well. So it was pretty clear to me that I would need to restore the home while preserving its architectural features rather than gutting it all. In the original part of the home, the scope of work was pretty straightforward. We needed to refinish the hardwood floors, paint inside and out, replace all the light fixtures and ceiling fans, and clean and restore the doorknobs. In the dining room, we also needed to resurface the fireplace that's made by marble. It's so beautiful and grand. Here are the after photos of the original part of the home. The gleaming refinished floors and neutral paint color really bring out the beautiful architectural details of the home and made it much more bright and inviting. The original kitchen was small and the layout was awkward, so we had to relocate a doorway that was to the basement to enlarge the kitchen. When selecting the finishing materials for the kitchen, I didn't want it to be too modern, so we actually chose ornate kitchen cabinets, traditional drawer pulls, farmhouse sink, and Victorian-style faucet. For the original Jack and Jill bathroom, we only needed to paint the walls and replacing some fixtures. The half bath was added without a permit before, so when we legalized it, we had to eliminate the shower that's too short and also relocate and replace all the fixtures. The addition in the back was so ugly before. We had to replace the carpet, put on new paint, and also install a new mini split AC to freshen it up. On the upstairs, there were a few rooms that were divided awkwardly. We had to remove some walls to create a large master bedroom. We put in new carpet, new trim, and new skylights. The master bathroom was very small and it was crammed into a corner before. The outside had a lot of space that was not well utilized, so I had to put in a lot of thought to relocate all the fixtures and make it functional. It was also challenging because there are 3 windows in the space and you can't put vanities under the windows. So finally, I decided to put a shower and a tub on each side of the bathroom, and we were able to fit a double vanity in the middle. For the tiles, I chose beautiful marble tiles in French pattern on the floors and subway tiles in the shower with a strip of accent. It took me so long to decide on this design. I went to the tile shop so many times, and they all know me before I even purchased anything. It looks beautiful in the pictures, but when I first saw how it turned out, I was disappointed because I forgot to tell the architect to draw vanity lights onto the plans and the room was kind of dim. The backyard was already lush with the lawn and trees and plants, so we only had to trim the plants and maintain the lawn. The construction was truly a nightmare, and I'll tell you all about it. When I walked through the house with the contractor, he asked me what my construction budget was. Because I was so new in the business, I didn't know better, so I told him it was $100,000. And he said, "Sure, we can totally do this whole thing within $100,000." I was so happy to hear that, and I thought I found a great contractor. On the first day we started construction, he called me telling me that the addition in the back and the bathroom upstairs were both done illegally. I was really surprised because when I purchased the house, I verified that there were permits on these. After showing him the permits, he still insisted that it was not safe for his crew to continue working on the project. So I had no choice but to hire a structural engineer that was recommended by him to evaluate the structure of the house. After $4,000 and 2 months of delay, the engineer reported back that the structure of the house is sound, which I already knew. This was only the tip of the iceberg. On the first day of the job, there were 12 guys working, and I was really happy thinking, oh, the project will be done really soon. But as time goes by, there are fewer and fewer people working on the house. I would be lucky to see 1 or 2 guys working on the job. Later, I learned that he actually only has 3 skilled laborers. All the other guys are new. I didn't know at the time, but it's actually a pretty common practice with contractors. They take on too many projects and they start all the projects right away, so it's harder for the owner to cancel the contract. But they don't have enough people to work on each project, so they actually delay every job. Because I was so new, I also didn't know the importance of having a thorough and complete scope of work in the agreement with the contractor. So later on, the contractor told me that many items were not included in the original bid. For example, I didn't specify that we needed trim upstairs. So after he replaced the carpet, he asked me for $8,000 to put in new baseboards and crown molding. So the budget had to increase many times, and in the end, it went up by 25% to $125,000. Because I was still working a full-time job, it was also challenging for me to check on the job site. I had to wait until after work to head there, and I was stuck in traffic for a long time. And when I finally get to the job site, it's already dark and nobody's there anymore. When I saw something I didn't like, I tried to communicate with the contractor, but he didn't want to pick up my phone because it's his family time already. The original project timeline was 2 months, but it was delayed by another 2 months in the end. Here are the after photos of the whole house. The project caused me so much stress and headache, but seeing how beautiful it turned out made it all worth it. It amazed me how the work we put in completely transformed this home from an old rundown home into a contemporary dream home. And I was not the only one. The original owner came by our open house and she burst into tears, saying she couldn't believe it was the same house. I think this first project made me realize how much I love this business and I should continue down the path, not just for the profit, but also for the magical and rewarding experience of reimagining and redeveloping homes to restore their former glory and make buyers fall in love with them again. When the project was finally done, I couldn't wait to put the house on the market for sale. But the sale took a lot longer than I thought. Because this home is much larger than the average home size in the area, it requires a much higher purchase price, so many fewer buyers are qualified to purchase the home. The Victorian style is also a niche. Even though some buyers love them and are willing to pay a premium, the buyer pool is much smaller. In the end, it took 2 months for me to get a good offer. Now let's talk about the final numbers. The sale price was $1.35 million, which is exactly the ARV that I expected originally. The rehab cost, as I mentioned earlier, went up by a lot during the project, and it was $125,000 in the end. The total hold time was 6.5 months because of delayed construction and delayed sale. The final profit was $90,000 instead of the $130,000 that I expected originally. Even though the final profit was not as good, I was very happy with it because I felt lucky that I didn't lose money on my first deal after all the challenges. Now onto the takeaways from my first flip. First of all, you really want to screen and manage the contractor carefully because the contractor can make or break your deal. If I spent more time looking for a good contractor to work with, I might have been able to save a lot of trouble for myself later on. If you want tips on how to find a great contractor, check out this video. Takeaway number 2, don't go too big too fast. As I mentioned, my first flip was larger than an average home and it requires a larger sale price, so it took longer to flip and longer to sell. For a beginner, that's a very big project to take on, so I would recommend beginners to try flipping an entry-level home of median sale price first. Takeaway number 3, find a mentor to guide you through your first deal. Yes, I had to share some profits with my mentor, but the money was well spent. If it was not for my mentor, I probably wouldn't be able to pull off this first flip, and I probably have lost a lot of money on it. If you are interested to learn how you can find a mentor, check out this video. It's a bummer that I don't have any video footage from my first flip, but if you're interested to learn how you can restore and update a Victorian-style home, you can check out this video where I recently completed another Victorian flip. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.